Hey guys, welcome back. So today I wanted to share with you guys some cheaper alternatives to Sigma makeup brushes. I know not everybody can afford really expensive makeup brushes, and it's so funny because like when I first started YouTube, like Sigma was, you know, kind of like Morphe. Like they were somewhat affordable but good makeup brushes, and over the years they have just gotten more expensive, but they've also improved their makeup brushes over the years as well. Like they're really good quality makeup brushes, and I'm not knocking Sigma at all. I love my Sigma brushes, and like my Sigma brushes that I do have, like these that came in the little set, it was like, you know, the set of their classic makeup brushes. These were the Make Me Blush. I've had these makeup brushes for almost 10 years and they're still going strong. So they do last for a really long time. So if you can invest in Sigma makeup brushes, I do highly recommend them. But there's also great affordable options out there as well that, you know, they might not be the exact same quality as the Sigma brushes, but they're gonna last for a long time and give you the same effect with your makeup. This is the, which it's basically rubbed off. This is the Sigma Large Angled Contour F40 brush, and I use this brush all the time for blush. The two brushes that I have that are close dupes to this brush, the Wet n Wild Angled Contour brush or angled blush brush, this is a pretty good dupe to that, and also my e.l.f. angled blush brush. I would say that the e.l.f. one is probably a closer dupe to the Sigma brush than the Wet n Wild one, because the Wet n Wild one is slightly a little smaller, and hopefully my camera's focusing on those so you can see. But that's what they all three look like there. The Sigma Pencil E30 brush. I love this brush for blending eyeshadow on the lower lash line for smudging. And sometimes I also like to use this in the outer V or to smudge out eyeliner. And I recently found some dupes to this because for the longest time I did not have any dupes to this brush. But I recently picked up this Morphe M431 brush, which is pretty much an exact dupe to the Sigma. The Sigma one might be slightly, like a little bit more pointed on the end, but it's just ever so slight. Like when I use this brush, I get the exact same effect as I do with the Sigma brush. And then I also just last week found this brush dupe to the Sigma one, and this is an e.l.f. brush. And I can't remember what this one was called. I think it was called like the Precision Smudger or something. I'll just put it in the video since it doesn't have it on the brush. But I'll show you all three of these compared to each other. So that's what those look like there. This is the Sigma, I think it's the Blending Angled Shader or Shading or something. It's the E70 is the number on this brush, and it's just like an angled eyeshadow brush. And I love to use this brush for brow bone highlight, or I used to also use this as an inner corner highlight, but this brush is kind of large for that. And my dupe to this brush, which it's actually a smaller version of the Sigma brush, and I actually prefer that, is the e.l.f. Eye Defining brush. So here are the two brushes next to each other, and I never really use this Sigma brush anymore because I like to use this for inner corner highlights or for, you know, like my brow bone highlight. For the Sigma Large Shader, the E60 brush, my dupe for that is the e.l.f. Concealer brush. And it's not an exact dupe, but the shapes of the brushes are very similar. And me personally, I kind of prefer the e.l.f. brush just because it is synthetic and it really picks up the eyeshadow. At least in my opinion, it picks up the eyeshadow better. And since it is synthetic, like the bristles are very, like it's shaped very precise and very kind of thin. And it could also be because I've had this Sigma brush for a while. So, you know, it's kind of like the longer you have a brush and you wash it, the bristles get kind of more splayed or kind of spread out. But yeah, I love both of these brushes for applying eyeshadow all over the lid. The Sigma E55. Like the Large Shader, I like to use this brush for applying eyeshadow on the lid. And my two dupes for this brush is the e.l.f. Professional Eyeshadow Brush. And the e.l.f. brush is a little shorter than the Sigma one. The bristles are both like natural. The shape of them is similar. It's just that the e.l.f. one is slightly smaller. And then the Wet n Wild shader brush is also very similar. It's made of synthetic fibers. It's not made out of the same bristles, but it gives you the same effect. And once again, the Wet n Wild brush is a little bit more precise than the Sigma one, just because it is synthetic. So, you know, they were able to shape the brush. You know, it's like with synthetic fibers, they don't get as splayed out the more that you wash them. So I don't know, it just gives you a more precise application. This is the Sigma concealer brush. This is the F70. And all the wording has completely rubbed off of this one. I love using this brush also for, like, you know, an eye shading brush. Sometimes I'll use it to smudge out liner, and, you know, sometimes I might use it to cover blemishes, but the main purpose that I use this for is, you know, for applying eyeshadow and for smudging. And my dupe tip for this brush is the Wet n Wild small concealer brush. Now the Wet n Wild brush is a little smaller than the Sigma one, and this is also made of synthetic brush hairs, where, you know, the Sigma one is made of real hair. It's a little thinner than the Sigma brush, and in a lot of ways, like, I do prefer the Wet n Wild one because it is smaller, so I can really shape out like my crease and everything. I mean, I still use the Sigma one all the time, and I love both of them. This is the Tapered Blending E40. My dupes for this brush, which neither one of these are exact, but they're pretty close. The Morphe M518 brush, which, as you can see, like, the hairs are a little different. Like, this is white, this is black. The Sigma one is slightly a little softer than the Morphe brush. And then the Wet n Wild blending brush is also a pretty good dupe to this brush as well. The Wet n Wild brush is a little, it's not quite as dense as the Sigma brush, and it's a little bit more like spread out. Like, it's a little wider, or I guess like more splayed out than the Sigma brush. So if you have really small eyes, the Wet n Wild brush might be a little too big, but if you have larger eyes, I mean, it works the same way as the Sigma brush. The Sigma E25 blending brush. This is one of my all-time favorite blending brushes, probably my all-time favorite just makeup brush in general. The quality of this brush is just amazing. But my dupe for the E25 is the Morphe M433 brush. Now, the brush hairs on this are not quite as good a quality as the Sigma one. Like, when I wash the Sigma one, or even use it, like, the bristles don't get really splayed out. Like, they stay shaped really well, where this Morphe one, sometimes they can get kind of splayed out and a little misshapen. Like, I really have to kind of shape it after I wash it. But it definitely gives you the same effect. And I like to use this brush here in the outer V and also in the crease. I know this isn't like super cheap like Wet n Wild or e.l.f., but it's still cheaper than the Sigma brush, and it's gonna give you the same effect. I use these interchangeably all the time in makeup looks, but you definitely need this type of brush for, you know, your makeup. This is just life-changing with your eyeshadows, with blending eyeshadow. Okay, these other two brushes, I feel like they're not super exciting, but I did want to mention this because, I mean, they are dupes. So the Sigma Eyeliner E05 brush. So this was like the original brush. I know that they have made improvements on this brush, and it's not quite as large as this brush is. Like, this brush is not super precise, and it never was really awesome for using it for eyeliner. It was better as a lip brush. But my dupe for that brush is the Real Techniques, and I can't even read it, it's so small. The Real Techniques Fine Liner Brush. And this came in like the Defining Eye set, but this brush is a dupe to the Sigma one, and this brush is so much better than the Sigma brush. Like I said, the new Sigma one is probably a lot similar to this Real Techniques one, but like, as you can see, the Real Techniques is just so fine, and this is just my favorite brush for applying gel eyeliner. Like, it's just perfect perfect, so tiny, so precise. And with the brush hairs, it is synthetic, so it holds its shape really well. The Sigma small angled E65 brush. Now, once again, I think they've also improved this brush, and some of my brushes that I'm showing you guys today from Sigma, like the newer brushes are slightly a little different. They're actually a little better. Like I was telling you guys with the E25, like the brush hairs on this are better than what my original brush was. So they've definitely made improvements on their brushes over the years. So, you know, another reason why they've like raised their prices over the years. But my brush dupe for the E65, I have two of them. The Wet n Wild angled eyeliner brush and this Essence angled eyeliner brush. Both of these are great dupes to the Sigma one. And once again, I prefer the Wet n Wild and the Essence one over the Sigma brush because I just find that they are more precise, and I especially love the Essence brush. It's probably my favorite out of the three and the one that I use the most. I also like to use this brush for doing, you know, winged eyeliner with gel, you know, liners. Or this is also great for filling in your eyebrows with like a pomade or powder brow products. Like, I feel like nobody uses these stippling brushes anymore. Like, do any of you guys use this? I mean, I guess some people still do, but I never really use these. I know some people used to use these for blush. Now what I usually use this brush for is to like flake away fallout or something like that. But this is the Sigma Duo Fiber F50 brush. And as you can see, like I never use this because it actually has the writing on it still. So that really says a lot. But my two brush dupes for this is the e.l.f. stipple brush and the Wet n Wild stippling brush. Now, the e.l.f. and the Wet n Wild are not quite as like dense as the Sigma one, and they're also smaller. So, you know, if maybe the Sigma one was just too large for you, get one of these two brushes because they're a lot smaller and they would work a lot better at applying blush. So you'll have to let me know if you guys use these stippling brushes and what you use them for, because I never use these things, but those are good dupes to that Sigma brush. And then the last two brush dupes that I have, this Sigma tapered highlighter brush, the F35. So I did not realize this, but I bought this whenever I was at IMATS, and I like love this for doing highlighter. And then I got to looking through my makeup brushes, because I don't keep all of my makeup brushes out all the time. Like I'll keep some of them stored away just so I'm not like cleaning like makeup brushes for 4 hours whenever I do go to clean my makeup brushes. So whenever I was going through my brushes, I discovered that the Morphe M438 is an exact dupe to the Sigma tapered highlighter F35. So here are these two brushes next to each other, and I know that the Morphe one is like half the price of the Sigma brush. I mean, the Sigma brush might be like a little softer than the Morphe one, but I mean, they both give you the exact same effect, and if you're looking for a cheaper option. And then my last brush dupe, which these are not exact dupes, but they're pretty close. The Sigma Round Kabuki F82 and this e.l.f. And I want to say that this is like the Perfect Complexion brush. I can never remember the name of this because it doesn't have the name on the brush. But this is also a really good dupe for the Sigma brush. Now, the Sigma foundation brush, it is more dense than the e.l.f. one. The e.l.f. one is not quite as dense, but they're both like the same softness, and I do feel that they give you pretty much the same effect. The Sigma one might give you a little bit more like flawless finish, just because since it is more dense, like it's really gonna buff out your foundation really well. But I mean, I feel like my foundation looks pretty much the same regardless of which brush I'm using. Now, you guys know I normally don't use makeup brushes anymore for my foundation. I usually just use makeup sponges, but yeah. Oh, I also forgot the e.l.f. powder brush and the Sigma Kabuki, like the flat tops Sigma Kabuki. These two are also pretty good dupes. Once again, this e.l.f. brush is not quite as dense as the Sigma one, and I think this one is actually like a little wider than the Sigma brush, but I know a lot of people like to use this brush for liquid foundation, and honestly, I do find this does buff out foundation a little better than this one from e.l.f. So yeah. I hope that you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope that you found it helpful. I'm always on the hunt to find good brush dupes. Like, I have a ton of Morphe brushes, and some of the other ones that I have are probably dupes to Sigma brushes, but you know, I don't have every single Sigma brush, so, you know, I don't know all the dupes. So you'll have to let us know down in the comments. But if you guys did enjoy this, please give this video a thumbs up. If you are new, please don't forget to subscribe. I post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss any videos from me. And I hope that you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.